Hey there, and welcome to exercise number 85. If you want to solve this one on your own, then click on the link in the description. If not, keep watching and we're going to solve it together. In this one, we need to write a function named promiseOrder that receives an array of promises as a parameter. The function should return a promise that will resolve to an array of numbers. Let's call it order. And this one represents the order in which the input promises were resolved. So basically, we start with an array of promises, and then we get an array of numbers that represent the order in which the promises finished. Below we have an example, so let's look at that. Here I create a simple function that resolves after a certain amount of milliseconds, right? I create this wait function that I'm going to use below, because I need some promises to test the code with. Then I call promiseOrder with an array of three promises: wait of 100, wait of 1,000, and wait of 50. Then I get the order and I console log it. And the expected output should be this one, 1, 2, 0. And let's look at it and understand why. So the first promise that finishes is the third one, this one right here. That means we put here index 0, it's the first one finishing. Then the second one is going to be this one, wait of 100. So we put here index 1. And lastly, we get the middle promise where we're going to put index 2. And all of those explanations are below, so you can see them in the comments here. Now that we've read the description, let's go into the right side into the code area and start solving it. And the first thing I want to do is create a new promise here that I'm going to resolve. So I'm going to say return, not resolve, sorry, new promise. And then I'm going to return it here. And this one is going to resolve with an array we're going to call order. So let's just create it. Const order is initially, let's say it's empty. Okay, now the challenge is what do we write inside? Because I need to wait for all promises to finish before I resolve this, right? So I'm going to create a new variable here. So I'm going to say let promises finished is equal to 0. And I'm going to do a for or actually I don't even need to do a for, I can do a for each. So I'm going to do promises dot for each, and here I get a promise, right? So I get a promise, and then I'm going to say something like this. I can do an async await, async here, and I'm going to say await promise. So I wait for this promise to finish. Now that this one finished, I need to put the correct index to its position. So I'm going to get its position from here, so index. And now I'm going to do order of index is going to be promises finished, right? So if this one is the first one that finishes, I'm going to put at its position index 0, value 0. So it's going to be the first one. Then of course I'm going to increment this one, right? I'm going to have to increment it. And then I need to do something else here. I'm going to delete this resolve, right? I only want to resolve when all of them are done. So I'm going to do a verification. I'm going to say if promises finished is equal to promises.length. So if this is the last one, all of them finished, then I'm going to do resolve of order. And this should be it. So let's actually take this code from here and I'm going to put it here. And let's look at the console, and we get 1, 2, 0, which is all good. Now let's test our solution. And voila, it works. Cheers and see you in the next one.